Alright, time now is 10:50 a.m. in the morning on October 11th, 11th, yes. Um, let's for real keep it under 15 minutes this time. I've spoken too much in the last few days. So I went to bed at 3, woke up at 10:30, but I went back to sleep for a little more. That's it. It wasn't a very great sleep. At around 8:30 a.m. in the fucking morning, Cindy suddenly loudly screamed, "Oh! Ha 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 ha! Ha ha!" Dude, it's 8 fucking 30 in the morning. I don't know what the fuck happened. She's been up all night doing stuff outside. It was kind of noisy, and I don't know what the fuck's happening. So, yeah. Last night Cindy brought a friend over, like an African friend, like an African woman, and they were just chatting so loudly, and they were talking about men cheating and men gaslighting them and hitting on them and men being this and that. I, fuck, man. But yeah, there is that. I woke up a bit early today because last night I was gonna watch Pecking Opera Blues, the movie, and once again, I couldn't finish it. Halfway through, I'm done. I need to go to sleep. Every single movie I watched this month so far, aside from the movie I watched for my film history class, I have to cut it in half because I couldn't finish it. Every single freaking movie, which is frustrating, really frustrating. I also planned to watch She-Hulk episodes 1 and 2 yesterday. I couldn't. I only watched episode 1, and it sucks. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm still processing yesterday, or more so the last 14 days. I remember, like, on the second day of Awaba's shoot, and I just randomly met this Japanese girl who looks like a bird. Not looks like a bird, acts like a bird, Karin. And I randomly ran up to her and asked her, "Where's Pepper?" And I look back at it and I think to myself, like, damn, this is something that I would never do. Like, running up to a random stranger whom I've never seen before just to ask a silly question like this when I don't need to ask a question, like when I could just wait. Like, like that's really crazy and adventurous of me to do something like that. I feel like this is the school trance. You know how you go to school long enough and you get comfortable with your environment, and then at some point you just start doing and saying weird things that you wouldn't otherwise do, or not weird things, but like you just become more adventurous as a person. That's a school trance. It just puts you in a trance because that happens to me all the time in secondary school. Like I would say jokes, I would randomly go up to people and say things, and it would defy my personality and my logic completely. Also right now my stomach is hurting again. I don't know what's going on with me. Ugh. Um, my chest is sore, which is great news because I did a bunch of push-ups. I actually didn't do a traditional normal push-up because I have so much difficulty doing a, not so much, but I could do a traditional normal push-up, but I'll do 10 and then I'll feel like dying. But yesterday morning when I did my push-ups on my bed, I actually did the easy version of the push-up where I'm actually supporting my body with my knees and not like the tip of my feet. And so I did like 20 something push-ups yesterday, and it's not like immediately easy, you know, but I could do like 20 something of them before I feel super tired. So yeah, my chest is sore right now, which is great. I'm happy about that. Um, and then that's pretty much it. I have so much food in my kitchen, my fridge. I'm actually feeling a little happy. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely nervous about my uni app and all that stuff. But at the same time, I feel hope for the future because I've made so many friends because of the Japan trip, because I've settled the camera I want to buy, and now I'm kind of hyped up about that. I'm actually kind of happy for the future. I don't think I have been in my entire life been in a better situation that I'm in right now. Like it's it's actually amazing, you know? Because back in primary school, I thought, okay, in secondary school, I'm gonna have a new life. It's gonna be great, and then it fucking sucks, and I hit my low point in my life. And then after secondary school, I became a really sad and negative person, and I thought my life here in America is going to be a battle, it's going to be a war, and surely the first 3 months is awful, but from then on out, it actually gets better and better, and life always surprises you. All right, time now is 6:30. Oh, my voice is not that bad right now. So let's talk about what happened today real quick. I went to college. I originally planned to do an album review before I leave, but I'm running out of time. That's right, folks. ROOT, running out of time. That's the new NIHT. Nothing important happened today. Today I ran out of time. But yeah, I went to college for film too. This time we went to the auditorium because we're gonna watch Hero by Zhang Yimou, which I've seen before, and it's pretty nice. I wanted to ask the professor what films he would have picked if today's lecture was about Hong Kong cinema or Taiwanese cinema. I'm gonna ask that next week if I remember it, which I will. I'm sure I will. But yeah, we watched it and it was nice, and that's pretty much it. I spoke to Patrick again about films. I told him I'm doing first AC tomorrow, and he's like, just good luck, because first AC is really freaking stressful. Aside from that, Pepper WhatsApped me voluntarily. She's starting voluntary conversations with me, which is insane. Like to think that one day she's gonna be nice to me. Like every time I talk about her, I'm always going to be like grateful that like, oh, man, I've come so far, But yeah, Pepper asked me what other UCs I'm gonna apply to, and I said none. Like aside from UCLA, none, because UCSB, UCR, they don't have film production. They only offer film studies. They're good backup plans, but I already have backup plans. LMU and CSUN are my backup. So I think that's enough. I'm preparing 7 sets of application, but she does have a point. If LMU denies me, if UCLA, USC, and LMU deny me, if I'm super unlucky, which I am, if all 3 of them deny me, then I'm going to need a backup. And that's, of course, CSUN, which is very easy to get into. But if I get to choose between CSUN and, I don't know, maybe UCR or UCSB, like, which one will I choose? Because the UCs are more famous, and the UCs provide better education overall, like outside of film. I don't know. So maybe she has a point. Maybe I'll do an 8th application. But that's good. And I realize there's so much I have to share with Pepper, like about the internships. I'm gonna respond to the Indian professor tonight. But also the Asian World Film Festival, which is another thing. So internships that go into our resume, and then I talked to her about the personal statements. John L. can read it for us. Christian's friend can read it for us. So that's important. The Duolingo test that Pepper needs working on. I'm going to do the test first, and then after I do the test, I'm going to tell her how to do it, and I'm going to teach her. Because, yeah, just Pepper needs my help, and I want to help her, So that's the Duolingo test. So that's the personal statement, the Duolingo test, and the internship / resume situation. And then the next situation to discuss is actually, of course, there's the video stuff, her short film. It's not done yet. I'm editing my short film. And then there's the CSU photo stuff where I have to borrow her camera for photos. But if my camera comes on time, then I could use my own camera. I don't know. There's just this application stuff is so complicated. Oh yeah, the letter recommendation, duh. So I need to email a school counselor ASAP about letter recommendation as well as common app tips and advice. Apparently there will be a seminar tomorrow in the main campus about this, which I am tempted to join, except I cannot because it's Wednesday and I filmed 32, so I'm fucked. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, just so much stuff. Now, aside from that, today, so last night I ordered the book, the textbook for film history class for film 2. I ordered it on Amazon. It's $90 fucking dollars. It's very expensive. Patrick told me he only ordered it for $5 because he ordered a used version. And I was like, fuck, I should have done that. So I immediately went to my phone, I went to Amazon.com, and I tried to cancel the order. And guess what? My cancel request was denied. I cannot cancel it. I have spent $90 and it's permanent. Now, in defense of the $90 textbook, the other option, the used option, is $1 something. Which, yeah, it's cheap, but it's probably in very poor condition. So maybe going for the $90 is the better way to go. Yeah, it's more expensive, but if the book comes in intact, then yeah. I just hope the book's useful in the future too, you know. Sheesh, $90. I'm wasting so much money. And that's not counting the and let's not talk about the camera, which is $3,200 US, probably more. Okay, $32, but not including the tax, the AE tax, and the delivery fee, which is going to be a whole bunch of shenanigans, and the SD cards. Okay, this morning more stuff happened in the family WhatsApp group because my aunt is trying to book an Airbnb in Tokyo. And when I called my mom last night, I learned more about the information. So apparently my cousins may not stay in that Airbnb. My cousins will stay in a hotel with their father, aka my ex-uncle. He's no longer my uncle. He's still my uncle, but it's like the blood relationship, legally speaking, it's like it's chopped off, you know. So I can't really call him my uncle anymore. And because of that, the Airbnb is going to be for me, my aunt, and my grandma. My aunt will arrive in Tokyo in Haneda Airport at 1 a.m. on December 20th. I will arrive on the same day at Narita Airport, which is all the way in Chiba. Chiba is east of Tokyo. Haneda is west, so all the way, and I will arrive at 4 p.m. At 4:20 p.m., I believe. And then at 4 p.m. on the dot, my grandma will arrive. So my grandma will arrive about 20 minutes earlier than me. So the thing is, my aunt and my cousins will arrive on the 20th, 1 a.m. So basically 19th. They're going to probably immediately settle down, whatever. And then my cousins will go see their dad. And then I will arrive. My aunt will pick me up, and then we'll settle down in the Airbnb. And then me, my aunt, and my grandma will have dinner together. This means on December 20th night, if I want to go out, I can. I totally can. And then on 21st, now this is where it starts to get complicated. My aunt is looking at Airbnbs, and she's planning to book an Airbnb in either Shinjuku or Shibuya, which are both places that are very great, and they are in the west side of Tokyo. But the thing is, if I only have one day to visit Tokyo, I would go to Akihabara and Asakusa, which are in the east side. Now, this means I'll have to travel across the city, and that's okay. It's not LA, it's Tokyo, so the transportation is way better. 30 minutes can get me across the whole city. But it is a little of a hassle, and it's a bit of a waste of money. So now, my aunt is looking at Airbnbs in the east side in Taito City, and she already found one. Um, that's kind of expensive, but it's apparently walking distance from Akihabara. And when I said Akihabara, my second aunt was like, "Wow, I want to go to Akihabara too because of anime," which is great and all. But I do low key want to take the Shinkansen to these places because that's like part of the experience, you know. Like when I go to places in Hong Kong, I take the MTR all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. But if I were to stay in Shibuya and Shinjuku, there are still places there for me to visit, like in the west side of Tokyo. You know, Kabukicho. I mean, it's not a place to visit alone, honestly, and it's definitely not a place to visit with a family. But I kind of want to go see just for myself, or the Shibuya Crossing, or Meiji Jingu. You know, there are places. So I don't know, but it's interesting and it's exciting. But that's it. That's it. I'll do an album review now. Also forgot to mention that after the class, I and Patrick stood outside of the classroom of the building a little while and chatted, and then we were talking about the Italian professor, and then speak of the devil, the Italian professor showed up, walked out of the building, and he waved at us, and we waved back, which is a great moment because this means I'm making even more of an impression of myself at him so that he can write a letter of recommendation to me. Like every greeting, every single word I say to the professor, every single word I do, every single action I do, it's gonna matter from now on. Like everything is working towards that application. Right now is 9:11 p.m. Let's wrap it up today. I've already spoken enough. More conversations with Pepper. I really have a lot of information for her, including the Asian World Film Festival stuff and the internship stuff, which is the Asian World Film Festival stuff, letter recommendation stuff, and personal statement stuff. You know, even if I and Pepper do not become really close friends at the end of the day, I feel like it's important that we rely on each other to survive. We're both Hong Kongers, we're both in our third year. Also, if you're wondering what happened to my mouth, I just had spaghetti and it's pretty good. But, yeah, we rely on each other at least, so there's that. So I really coordinated with her, you know. I'm going to ask the Italian professor for a letter recommendation, and she needs to ask it too. I'm going to, and I don't want to ask him with Pepper at the same time because it arouses suspicion. Like, oh, you two are trying to like plan this, you know, you two want to, you know, get my letter of recommendation together. So tomorrow, Pepper's gonna ask first. During break, Pepper will ask first. Or tomorrow there won't be a break. Frick. Maybe in the morning, you know. And then lunchtime, I will ask. Or maybe after the class, because tomorrow's gonna be really tight, schedule-wise. So there's that. Yeah. I don't have much else to talk about really. I forgot to mention a couple of things about the people I've met on Saturday. The short orange hair girl from China, from born in Macau, raised in Beijing. I made an Instagram story yesterday, a repost of Pak Chanuk in the Criterion Closet, and then she liked my story. When I met her, I asked her why did she want to learn Japanese. Apparently she speaks Japanese, but she learned it all by herself. Apparently it's because she really likes Japanese music. And I asked her what sort of music she likes. And then no, she said she likes Japanese music, and I said me too. And then she asked me what sort of music I like, and I said I listen to everything. I listen to J-pop, J-rock, and then he said he listens to J-rock mostly. She asked me if I've listened to YOASOBI, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, duh, everyone listens to them. And then she asked me what sort of stuff I listen to, and I said Tricot. And then she's like, what? How do you spell it? And I said Tricot, and they're like, oh, Toriko. So there's that. And then the Japanese girl Karin came out of nowhere. A little bit later, when I and Karin spoke around the table with Pepper, I asked Karin what's her name, and she said Karin. And I said I'm Enoch. And then she like put her hand out, and I don't really know why. It seems like she's trying to go for a handshake, so I really just shook her hand. And it was like, it wasn't even that awkward. It was just a handshake. It seems like she was going for a handshake, like almost a little sarcastically. Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So later I'm going to DM John L and tell him about Pepper so that Pepper can follow him back on Instagram, or not follow him back, but follow him on Instagram. And then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm going to be first AC, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to talk to Pepper anyways, which is actually a huge advantage, because if the professor sees me and Pepper talk a lot, he may connect the dots and be like, if he's smart enough, he may connect the dots and see, oh, maybe Pepper asked for the letter of recommendation, and then Pepper told me, and then I ask. But if we don't talk a lot, it creates the illusion that both of us ask on the same day coincidentally, and that's the effect I want to achieve. So, I'm applying to university, but I'm literally doing this in such a strategic, psychological way of scamming that it's amazing, actually. Like, all this dancing just for the uni app. I am a fucking genius. But yeah, essentially there's that. I'm gonna wake up a little early tomorrow because I want to arrive early as well. And that's that. I hope I have enough time to finish watching 2 episodes of K-drama today. Is that all I want to say? Yes, I think so. Alright, time now is 8:05 a.m. in the morning on October 12th. It's a Wednesday, which means I am going to wait. October 12th. Is that someone's birthday? Someone's having a birthday today, isn't it? I'm gonna check. October 12th. Shoot. Oh my god. I'm just like, there's just so many birthdays, goddamn. But anyways, today's a Wednesday, which means I'm going to film 32 class. This is why I woke up extremely early. This is why I'm tired as hell. Last night at around 10 p.m., suddenly a bomb exploded. Our Italian film class professor, had suddenly told us that the shoot for today is cancelled. The Matrix shoot for today is cancelled, meaning that originally we're going to film a scene today. We're going to arrive to class early, build the set up the camera. I'm the first AC, so I have to set up the camera. And I'm going to, rack focus for I don't know how many hours straight for the rest of the day. And we're not gonna have time for lunch. We're not gonna have breaks and all, and then we're gonna go home late. But that's not gonna happen today. So I don't know why. The professor said it's like the equipment room doesn't support us now or something. So yeah, essentially today we're just gonna do more pre-production, and we're not gonna shoot the scene, which is great news actually, because which is both good news and bad news. Good news is today's a chill day. I haven't slept much, a bit less than 5 hours, and it's fine. This also means today we're gonna have breaks. We're gonna have at least one break. And so Pepper can ask in the first break, and I can ask in the lunchtime for the letter recommendation, of course. It's also a good thing because I don't know anything about being first AC, so I can do something with the camera, maybe ask Aoba how it's done, because Aoba was first AC last time. So there's that. But the bad thing is, if today I and Pepper ask the Italian professor for the letter rec, this means that I and Pepper will sit together today and we're gonna talk, and the professor's gonna see that. And so if Pepper asks first and then I ask later, then it's going to arouse suspicions like, oh, so Enoch, this guy, only asked because Pepper asked first and Pepper told Enoch about it, which makes my decision of asking a lot less legitimate. So right now, maybe it's not a bad idea to ask at the same time. I've no idea. I gotta think about this. But I have to ask today. If Pepper wants to get a letter of rec, Pepper has to ask today. And I hope nobody else asks today or lately, because I feel like this is one of those first come, first serve things. I don't know, man. Wish me luck. Whew, it's so cold. What the fuck? And then that's pretty much it. I got nothing else. Yesterday I did finish one whole episode of K-drama. I didn't watch 2 episodes, and that's totally fine. Man. Whoo! Is that all I'm gonna say? I think that's it. And I'm so excited to not wake up early tomorrow. And I have nothing planned for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's a good thing. It's time to chill. Because I got a lot of homework, I got a lot of everything, and I need time.
Get ready. Oh yeah, you're not an actor anymore.
Guys.
One corner? No, that's the point. And then there's like.
Can the other one is smaller?
I just need to check. Oh, oh damn.
It's a fucking Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh.
You've seen it, then you've seen it, then you know you have to. So we're
Oh. Oh.
So let's say the. Okay. So.
Alright, time now is 6:06 p.m. on October 12th. So let's talk about today. Today's quite interesting, but not in the same way you would think. I would say I'll say this. Today, for the most part, is really good. It's a happy experience. That is something I can't deny. But the way today ended was, how do I describe it? I wouldn't say depressing. I wouldn't say strange, but it's something in between. And mysterious. Anxiety inducing. Paranoia inducing. I think that's the best way to put it. Ominous. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Today ended ominously. Forebodingly. Apprehensively. That's the words I want. So buckle your seatbelts because I'm going to talk a lot again. But that's okay because I'm going to make it an exception today. So, I thought I was going to be late. I woke up a little early today because usually when I go to my film 32, the class starts at 9 and the bus ride, including the waiting time, estimated, is about 35 minutes. So I wake up at 8. Usually I wash up. By that I mean like I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast, I change my clothes, and I do this little video thingy. 25 minutes and then boom, it's 8:25. I wait for the bus, I take the bus, boom, it's 9, perfecto. But 25 minutes is actually too tight. It's too tight because I wake up slowly, and I talk a lot. So I decided to wake up at 7:50 this morning, and it wasn't much of a difference. It was a 10-minute difference, so it wasn't much, but I did go back to lay back on my bed for like 3 minutes-ish, which is reminiscent of how back in Forms 5 and 6, I used to have this re-sleep system where I would wake up at 6:30, and then I would, brush my teeth, and then after brushing my teeth, I would go back to bed for about 3 minutes. Like lay on the bed, not fall asleep. Just lay on my bed for about 3 minutes. And then I come back. Yeah, so that's really nice. But anyways, the real story begins here. I walked to the bus stop and I was gonna start listening to music. And then suddenly, lo and behold, a young girl with brunette dyed hair walked towards me without a mask on. And I could immediately tell it's Pepper. Pepper waved her hand at me, I waved back. And at that point, I was really tired, so I wasn't like, yo, Pepper! I was just like, hey, what are you doing here? Because Pepper usually takes another bus, but that other bus decided to not show up today. So she walked all the way here to take this bus. So that's really great. So I and Pepper, we sat together on the bus, which is another W, another huge W for me. Like being able to sit beside people in the bus and talk to them, and especially people that I trust, is like actually good, given the history of how much of a loser I am. It's a W. So we talked about letter recommendations and how we need to ask today. But because today we're not going to shoot the scene. Today's going to be really chill. So maybe we need to ask together. Maybe it's better if we ask together and not separately. But anyways, that's that. So yeah, we arrived. We were a little bit late. We were about 3 minutes late, but it didn't really matter all that much because the professor wasn't there yet. The professor arrived, or actually the professor was there, but everyone just came, And then Eric texted me saying, oh, please tell the professor I'm going to be a little late. And turns out Eric came in right after we did, so we weren't that late or anything. He wasn't that late or anything. So we started the class, and lo and behold, today's class was basically nothing. The professor spent 1.5 hours just talking, blabbering about everything, about the American film market, about the American Pavilion and the Cannes Film Festival, about this thing and that thing, and different programs and whatever, which is cool and all, but a little boring. It dragged on. And then there's a break, and then the professor immediately left. So today the professor's really busy. He had like tons of conference Zoom meetings and tons of phone calls to make, and he has places to go. So he's like, okay, I need to go to a meeting, so you guys take a 30-minute break. And then he immediately disappears. So I and Pepper didn't have a chance to ask him for the letter of recommendation in the first break. Okay, he comes back, and then from then on out, we basically built the set for the Matrix, and then we took it all back down. So we built it from scratch. We built the flats, and it took us like a whole hour just to figure out how we're going to do it, how we're going to angle it, how we're going to arrange it, and then there's decoration, and then it was very chill though, because we're not running out of time, we have all the time in the world. So we just built the set, and we put on the props, and it's really cool, really chill. I get to speak with a lot of people. I pretty much know and have spoken to every single person in my class right now, like at this point, which is really great. But the thing is, every single department has things to play with. The grip and electric department, they got the lights, which are readily available inside the studio. The art department, they have the sets, they're building it, they have the props. The only department who doesn't have anything to do is the camera department. So me, the big fat Latino, Jonathan, that's his name. And Eric's the second AC. I'm the first AC. Jonathan is the cam up. This German guy, Robin, he is the dolly grip. We have nothing to do. There's a dolly there, so we played around with the dolly a little bit, but otherwise, we just helped out left and right. And then we had the lunch break, and Me, Pepper, Eric, and Christian followed another guy whose name is Tyler. We went to this Thai restaurant, which is in Sawtell, actually. And we quickly ordered food, and we drove by car, and it's Eric's car. And this time I sat shotgun. I don't know why. Christian asked me, like, "You want to sit shotgun, Enoch?" And of course I can't say no, so I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I sat shotgun. So Christian sat with Pepper, behind me is Pepper, and then me, and then Eric's driving. So we went to Sawtell, and we only had 45 minutes to eat lunch today. For some reason, the professor wanted us to come back as soon as possible at 1:30, latest, at 1:15 the earliest. So we went to the restaurant, and the first thing I saw after entering through the door is 4 cops. And for any other people in the world, especially people who are not oppressed, it's fine. They're just policemen, friendly neighborhood policemen. But I'm a Hong Konger, and I'm allergic to those people. So I'm like, oh fuck, cops. And they're just eating and stuff. And then Jonathan was there too. So I and Pepper ended up ordering. So Eric didn't order because Eric had fried chicken and rice, and that's it. Christian didn't order anything because he also brought lunch, I believe. I ended up ordering a pad thai, and Pepper ended up ordering a beef noodles. Beef soup noodles, which is something that I really crave, but then I don't know, maybe I'll try to order beef noodles, like soup noodles, on a Sunday if I get the chance, because I crave soup noodles. Holy shit. But yeah, I ended up ordering pad thai. And then after the order, we went back to the campus, and we only had about 10 minutes to finish the thing. Udav, the Indian guy, showed up, spoke to him a little bit, but I was eating it really fast. Couldn't finish it. It's 1:30. I finished halfway. Pepper barely started eating. Also, with the chicken soup noodles, we ordered takeout. They only gave her a fork. How do you eat soup noodles with a fucking fork? Where's the chopsticks? Where's the spoon? So there are no chopsticks, so I just went to the cafe and grabbed 2 popsicle sticks, and I gave it to Pepper, and Pepper actually used it. So there's that. Now, after lunch, we continued building the set, and it was really chill. There were many moments where I just sit around and rest. There are also many moments where I actually do stuff, which is really fun. There's a really long conversation, or not really long, but like really good conversation between me, Pepper, and Aoba. So Pepper and Aoba are getting closer and closer and closer, which is something nice to see actually. And Aoba, like during the first break, like before we left the room, Aoba even walked up to me and Pepper saying, "Oh, thank you, you two, for helping me with the short film." And I realized, damn, in this entire class, only I and Pepper helped, even though it felt like the whole class helped. Yeah, it was nice. So the conversation I've been wanting to have with Aoba has been had, and that is, we talked about several things. We talked about like Japanese culture versus Hong Kong culture, and then we talked about like Japanese school systems. So I guess it didn't even start with me. It started with Pepper asking Aoba, like, talking to Aoba about how, oh yeah, Pepper's tired, and Pepper just asked Aoba, like, how do you say tired in Japanese? And Aoba's like, tsukareta, and then Pepper followed. Which is weird. I thought Pepper knew, because when I met Pepper and that other Japanese girl, Karin, last Saturday, Karin was like, tsukareta, and then Pepper responded, tsukareta. I thought she knew. She doesn't? So yeah, and then a little bit later, Pepper said that there's a Japanese guy whose name is Taida, which is a really weird name, and one time, and I was present, like I didn't see this, but one Wednesday, Pepper's eyelash dropped into her eye and she started crying because of it. And I saw that, and then Pepper stormed away, and then I didn't see her. Like, that was also film 32. And then that's when she apparently met this Japanese guy, and that Japanese guy was like, "Daijoubu desu ka? Daijoubu desu ka?" And then from then on, that Japanese guy always speaks Japanese to Pepper, thinking that Pepper's Japanese. Pepper's not Japanese. Pepper doesn't understand Japanese, even though she knows a few phrases, like I do. I mean, we all know a few phrases. Um, but yeah, that's really funny. And then I ended up joining the conversation, and I asked, because I always thought Aoba's family name is this is XY. I'm not gonna actually say her name, bro. But turns out it's ZY, okay? And it means this and that. And so I told Alba that, and Alba was like, "Oh yeah, it means this and that." And then I said, "Oh, I thought this was like a word for another thing." And then she's like, "Oh no, it has another meaning." But I know I'm very vague right now. I'm trying to protect Alba's identity, but just so you know, it has something to do with colors and how Japanese words for colors are different with Chinese words for colors. And Alba even talked about how when I was in my high school, we had to learn like ancient traditional Chinese as well, which is shocking because I thought only Chinese people and Taiwanese people and Hong Kongers have to do that. And Pepper found it surprising too. But turns out Alba had to study that, and it's like necessary. It's part of the Japanese class, but theirs are a little more simple. But they actually had to learn, So I actually typed up Hongzi, which is Confucius. I didn't type, I wrote it, and then I showed Alba, like, you know this guy, right? And he's like, "Oh, Koshi, yeah." So we say Hongzi, and she said Koshi. And then Pepper asked Alba, "How do you say in Japanese, where are you going?" And then Alba said something like, "Anata wa doko ni ikimasu ka?" And then like Pepper's like, "They heard I'm being like comparing languages, which is really fun, like cultural cross-pollination. This is freaking awesome. This is awesome." A little bit later, I even asked Alba about the school system. Apparently, it's true that in Japan, there's junior high and there's high. It's 6 years of elementary/primary, and there's 3 plus 3 plus 4 university. In Hong Kong, it's 6 plus 6 plus 4. So that's interesting. This is why like Pepper always like confuses like high school with secondary school. It's totally different things. Japanese high school is basically equivalent of American high school, but there are no such thing as high school in Hong Kong. So that's very interesting. Aside from that, during break, Birkin, the arrogant, braggadocious Turkish guy, he randomly asked me, "Am I really a Hong Konger?" No, he asked me where I'm from again, and I said I'm from Hong Kong. And he's like, "When did you come here?" Because he thought like I came here at a very young age, and I just developed such a great American accent. And I said, "Oh, I came here this January." And he's like, "Wow, really? You have no accent. I thought you were a local." And I'm like, "Haha, yeah, thank you." Because a lot of people say this to me. And then I just said, "Yeah, I'm just, I didn't say much. But I just wanted to say, like, I'm just good at language." That's one of the few things that I'm confident in, and that is like linguistic abilities. A little bit later, in the set, so Alan is a Mexican guy, and he talked about folklorico, which is like a traditional Mexican folk dance. He tried to teach Eric how to say it, and Eric can't say it, like folklorico. And then I immediately said folklorico, and then he's like, "Wow, like even Enoch knows how to pronounce it." And then a little bit later, Eric was there too. I was just bored and I was speaking names. And again, Robin is a German guy, and I said, "Robin." And then he was standing far away, and he like turned because like somebody called him in German, like called his name in German, and he's like, "Yeah, it's me." And he asked me, "Wait, do you speak German?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Wow, you got like perfect German. That's like German pronunciation." And I'm like, "Haha, linguistics." So yeah, I'm just good at languages, man. I'm just good. I suck at everything else, but at least there's one thing that I'm confident in, and that is like when it comes to pronouncing words and from different languages, like I can just nail it. So that's that. which is fantastic. I believe that's the most of today. I and Jonathan, the Latino guy, spoke a lot. Like, because he's my cam op, so I and him, we didn't get to play around with the camera, which is a little sad. I want to play around with the camera because I've been such a camera geek lately. And then apparently, and then even though we don't have camera, we have the dolly, so at least we get to do that. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. And so it was nice. It was a really harmonious day, real harmonious. Spoke with everyone, everyone's nice. There have been a few moments where, okay, so the pitch. Last Wednesday, me, David, Liana, the Russian, me, David the Swede, Liana the Russian, Yulia the Russian girl, Leia the Czechian girl, and Andrew the white American guy, 6 of us, we pitched a scene so that we can film them in film 32. Today, our professor, out of these 6 scenes, had to pick 4 so that we can do for the rest of the semester. And guess what? I and Liana's ideas are rejected, which is actually kind of a relief, even though as much as I would want to see my the lighthouse idea come true, I don't want to direct it because it seems like a lot of pressure. So I'm actually kind of relieved. So yeah, my scene didn't get picked at the end. But it was a relief, yeah. And I think that's most of today. So here comes the very end, where I and Pepper... Okay, so... Okay, I'm going to talk about that later. At the very end, I told Pepper, okay, if you want to ask for a letter of recommendation, we need to ask today, right after class. Otherwise, it's too late. So we did. And Pepper's like nervous and scared. I was nervous too, but I had to do it. And, it's fine. Like, I've done similar shit before in the last few months. I can do it. So at the very end, I walked up to the professor. And at that point, a lot of people walked away already. People are beginning to leave. David usually leaves the last, but he left. So it's like, okay, I have to say something. Or actually, David left last, but like whoever else already left. So I went up to the professor. Professor's in a hurry and he's about to leave. And both me and Pepper simultaneously said, "Professor!" And the professor turned. And I wanted to like ease into this conversation. I don't want to immediately hit him with, "Please write me a letter of recommendation." Okay. I ease in. So this is what I said. I said, very soon I'll be applying to UCLA and USC and other schools. And can you is it okay if you write a letter of recommendation for me? And then the professor was like, and then professor explained that I have to take 2 classes with him completely in order for him to write a letter for me. Completely. So right now I'm taking the 2nd class, but it's not completed yet. But because the letter of recommendation for UCLA is actually handed in January, it's actually in time. So if I actually complete film 32 and then ask for his letter of recommendation, I actually have time. So at the end, I'm like, oh, okay. So he actually said, oh, you can just ask me in December after you finish this course. And I said, oh, okay. It's not too late? And he's like, oh, no, it's not too late. So Pepper's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, thank you. And then we left. And then at the doorway, we ran into Alba, the Mexican girl, where Christian and Eric were also waiting for us. We talked a little bit. And I told Alba how Patrick described Alba's short film in film 32 to be very atmospheric and interesting. And she's like, oh, nah, it wasn't that good. I was really stressed out during the shoot. But yeah. So that's that. And then we left the building, and then there's Armita, the Iranian American girl. Or just the Iranian girl. I think she's Gen 0. But yeah, that's that. this is when the story starts to turn sour. First of all, of course, I have to talk about the weather. This morning started off really cold, and I wore my light blue jacket. And the sky was cloudy, but come on, it's October, it's mid-October, of course it's like that. So I actually kind of like the cloudy weather, and I wore the jacket even inside the sound studio, and I didn't like wear my arm through the sleeves. So it's like I'm wearing a cape, and I like dancing around and flinging around because I'm such a child. I remember, again, it's reminiscent because back in secondary school I do that a lot. I wear my blazer, but I don't actually wear it. And then I fling around, and I even joke around saying, I'm a bird, I'm a bird, I'm a bird, like in front of Nick, because it's so funny. Even Pepper laughed at me, but I think it's good. I think it's good because I'm such an organized, such a serious person in front of Pepper, but then I show my childish side to her. It's like it creates depth, it's good. In the afternoon, it's hot. At noon, it's hot, but then when we left at around 4:30, it's cold again, surprisingly. Throughout the day, Pepper has been calling someone in Cantonese. Now, if Pepper calls someone and she speaks in English, I'm like, okay, it's got to be one of those people. But if she speaks in Cantonese, it's either any of these people. It's either that hot Hong Konger girl who like shows off herself in the bikini, and the reason being is that like Pepper also called her a couple Wednesdays ago when Pepper told me that she quit the well, and she showed me her IG. Or it's Connor the Macanese guy from Film 50. And then I never really asked her what's going on, but it appears that at the very end, when we left the building, Pepper talked on the phone, and I could hear it because it's literally out loud. Pepper said, okay, I will meet you soon. Right here. So Pepper's meeting someone in this campus later. It's got to be Connor the Macanese guy. And that's funny because I also follow him on Instagram, and I saw him making Instagram stories about being here. The Macanese guy took a photo of the views in this campus and posted it on his IG. That's how I know he's here as well. And then I asked Pepper, like, what's going on? And Pepper said, oh, I have Film 50 exam this Saturday, and I want to study with him. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I guess this is where it starts to get tricky for me. I don't know. I guess at this point in time, I can't really explain what's gone through my head. But it's just like, what's this guy doing, I don't even know this guy this well. And when I and Pepper and this Macanese guy hung out, or not even hung out, when we took the bus together back home on Saturday, I almost get the sense that I and this guy are like yin and yang. We're complete opposites of each other. He's a very muscular dude. I'm kind of skinny. I'm very fucking serious and emotional, and he's very random and spontaneous, and like, I and Pepper are very different. And Pepper told me herself that the Macanese guy is like the male version of her. But like the saying goes, like if you and that other person are like similar, like you two probably won't get along that well. Or maybe not. But it doesn't matter. So I suddenly thought of a very smart idea. I asked Pepper, is it okay if I join? You two are studying for Film 50, right? I could just sit around and enjoy it. I mean, I'm just going to go home now, and I have nothing to do. I didn't plan anything to do for the rest of the day, and that's true. Can I join? And Pepper's like, what? Really? Aren't you tired? Like, aren't you tired? I mean, we're not going to talk or anything. We're just going to sit silently. So I didn't say much. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see. Maybe I don't have to join, but I'll like follow Pepper until I see the Macanese guy, say hi to him, and then I'll leave. That's like maybe I'll do that. Okay, it's slowly creeping into 5 p.m. Suddenly, this weird white guy who seems like homeless. I mean, he seems well groomed, but he seemed like he's high. He acts like he's on cocaine. He ran up to me and Pepper and said, "Hey guys, you study film? You study film? You're a film major?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And at first it's like kind of friendly, but then he's like very jittery, and his words are so fast and they race out of his mind, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like he's trying to say 10 things at once. "Oh, you guys study film? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Facebook? Do you have email? Do you want to make tons of money? Do you know Kanye West? So I worked on a music video. I'm part of a company. Oh wait, where are you from? Where are you from?" And so Pepper said, "Oh, I'm from Hong Kong." And he's like, Chinese, China, yeah. I know a Chinese girl. She's also from here." And Pepper's like, "Oh, is it Leslie?" Because Leslie, the only film Chinese girl she knows. Leslie, a Chinese girl. I've mentioned her. And he's like, "It's Lu. Yeah. It's her." And I'm like, "What?" So, and then the guy asked me like if I have Instagram, and I immediately turned him down. I was like, "Oh, I don't use Instagram." I even thought of deceiving him by faking an accent, but I feel like that's just too far gone. Like, that's too mean. But I'll just go along and I'll say I don't have Instagram. And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. You don't have Instagram. That's fine. You have email. You have Facebook. Let me show you. Let me show you." So he pulled out his phone and he started showing me like what company he's working for. He has a T-shirt called Borderless Delusion. And his company, quote unquote company, is also called Borderless Delusion. And what happened, and he talked about how he's doing this film thing and he's making tons of money. Just give me a call, and I know tons of people here. And then something really weird sort of happened. He opened his Instagram right out in the open so that I could see his DMs. And one of his latest DMs is from Lauren, the DP. Which is really weird, because Lauren seems like a legit film guy, but this fucking guy here seems like a homeless. I don't trust him, okay? Like, when I said I don't have Instagram, I looked at Pepper, and Pepper like smiled at me. I don't know if it's a, "Oh, you're a liar, I love that" kind of smile, or is it like, "Oh, you're a liar, you're insane" kind of smile. But I feel like it's somewhere in between. But it felt good, it felt good lying like that. It just went out so smoothly. And then the guy pressed Pepper. Oh, Pepper, no, like Pepper didn't really give him her name, but he asked Pepper if he can get her email, and Pepper's like, "Oh, I'm good. And I looked at the guy and I'm like, "Yeah, we are in a hurry. I'm sorry, but yeah. I'll give you a call if we need you." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. And then he just walked away. Okay. I turn around. Pepper's gone. What? Where is she? And I looked. I swear I could hear some like very faint footsteps, and it's the staircase behind me. And I'm like, okay. So of course I'm not gonna run after Pepper, but I walked up the stairs. And Pepper's completely gone. She completely disappeared. Pepper probably ran in a very quiet way. What the fuck? Where did she go? So I continued walking on the second floor inside the building, very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. And I walked and I looked left and right. Maybe Pepper ran to the Macanese guy. Maybe the Macanese guy, Connor, and Pepper, maybe they're together now and then they're somewhere. I just want to see them. Okay? Maybe I won't walk in and interrupt them. I think that would be very annoying of me. But at least I want to see them. Yeah. It's them, and they're here. Couldn't find them. So I gave up, and I walked back down. Like a loser, walked back down the stairs, under a cloudy sky. Oh boy, so reminiscent. So fucking reminiscent. And then I walked back down, walked back out, and I saw that the crazy cocaine film guy, he is hassling Eric now, who is speaking with Rose, the French girl, and Kanata, the Brazilian girl from last semester's Film 40. And I walked past him swiftly, and I just walked out the entrance. And I was just going to walk away and go back home and then put on my earphones, my earbuds, listen to sad music, and that's it. Suddenly, I had a second thought. I'm not in a hurry to go back home. I'm not in a hurry. And if I go away now, I may miss something. Or at least allow me to have some fun. Allow me to go back and have fun. Like, you know, I don't want to go back home like a loser. I want to see that Pepper's with Connor, studying together. If I could see that, I'm good. And then I can go home. But as long as I haven't achieved my goal, I will not go home. You know what? I want to do this. So I turned back around. So this is when things get extremely interesting. So there's this crazy, I'm going to call him the cocaine man, even though I don't know if he has taken any cocaine, but he acts like he has. So the cocaine man was right there in front of the table in the outdoor area. And I don't want him to see me because he may hassle me again. So I went inside the cafe, the little indoor area, and I hid behind the wall. And I took a peek. I was like this. I took a peek. You know, he doesn't see me, but I see him. I'm very fucking good at this. I'm the fucking detective, man. I'm the fucking detective. You don't mess with the fucking detective. I'm good at this. I'm so good at this. And then I'm like, okay, if I stand here, it's going to be very boring. I'm just going to stand here and wait, right? I can't do that. So I left the main entrance, and then I went back into the campus from the side entrance so that I could swiftly walk past the cocaine man behind his back. So I did that, and by the time I went there, the cocaine man's gone. And Eric saw me, and Eric's probably thinking, man, this Enoch guy, like, where is he going? And then I explained to Eric, oh, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, get rid of him. He's gone now, and he's like, yeah. So it still makes sense. My action still makes sense, okay? But before I left, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go look around. Because my main goal isn't to avoid the cocaine man. I want to see Pepper and Connor studying. So I hypothesized. The only place I haven't looked is the little seat area in second floor. Like most of second floor. So I went to the other side of the same building. Walked up the stairs. This is where I usually go to my film history classes. I walked up the stairs very, very slowly. Every single step I take is very slow and very light. And I make sure I'm not seen. I mean, other people can see me, it's fine. I act normal. But Pepper and Connor will not see me. And then I walk up, and I've entered the big hall. If Pepper and Connor were there, I would be immediately spotted, but they weren't. And then I walked past people. I think I saw Robin, the German guy somewhere. Armita, the Iranian, showed up a little bit. I walked past them. I don't care about them now. I walked past this little hallway into the little seat area that I mentioned. And then there's a turn, and there's another turn where it's a glass wall. Okay, so it's a very weirdly shaped place, but basically, this is me. And then there's a glass wall here, or glass door to a conference room, which reflects a seating area over here, but there's a wall in the middle. And then I looked at the glass wall, and I saw two figures. And I'm not sure if it's really Pepper and Connor, so I actually took a peek. Yes, there they are. Wow. And I don't really know if they're like really legit studying in silence, or are they talking and chatting really nicely and happily. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Took a peek. And then suddenly, so of course my biggest fear right now is Pepper turning around and seeing me and then realize how much of a creep I am and just completely ignoring me forever. Just burning down all the bridges. So suddenly Pepper and Connor, they took their bags and they stood up as if they're going to go somewhere else. I didn't think they saw me, but I thought they're just going somewhere else, somewhere quieter probably. But in order to avoid them seeing me, I immediately ran away. But again, in extreme silence. And again, I'm so fucking good at this. Don't ever underestimate me. One of the best things, I suck at everything, but one of the best things I could do is sneaking away and escaping things. I'm an expert at that because I do that all the fucking time. Back in secondary school, I am the detective. I do that all the time. I avoid people. I run away from people. I hide from people. That's like my specialty. So I immediately ran down the stairs and ran through the door and then just ran away. I tied my shoelaces, said bye to Eric, walked away, put on my earbuds, listened to some sad music. Hopped onto the bus, and what is originally a 20-minute bus ride became 15 minutes long because of the insane traffic. At some point, the bus stopped multiple times, and many people were talking to the bus driver, upset. Many people just left and walked off the bus. And if you can remember what happened to me in Form 3, walking off a bus during a traffic jam is not a good idea. So I waited until a long while, but at the end, I did get off the bus in the second last stop to my home. So yeah, there's that. And then I walk back home. It's still cold. I listen to a lot of like sad music and noisy, angry music. Lately, I've been getting into a lot of pop and jazz, real lightweight music. But sometimes you just need a dose of angry, bitter, cynical music to just sweeten you up. I listen to Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want, and it's so good. And then I walk back home. And that's it. And lo and behold, outside my bedroom, my film history class textbook has arrived. So that's it for today. Now, one thing I'd like to say is that I'm not a creep, and I normally don't do this. I normally don't like, checking people out and making sure they're with someone else. I'm gonna sit. Ah, man, so much walking. Jesus. I normally don't do this, but I think partially the reason why I did this is because I like the thrill of it. Like, the idea of secretly sneaking around, trying to look for someone, and then immediately running away. And the fact that all this action is pointless, it doesn't really go anywhere, makes it a lot more fun. Because it reminds me of secondary school, like how if I and Natalie had beef, if I don't like Natalie, I would sneak around and look at Natalie, and then I would immediately run away. Like, that's just something I would do, And that's a feeling that I haven't felt in such a long, long time. I haven't truly felt like the paranoia, the lying, the secrets, the fear. It's so reminiscent of my secondary school life, and I just absolutely love it. Like, for a moment, for a split second, I could almost feel it again. And it's amazing. And I'm not happy because of it. I'm sad and I am distressed. But it's enjoyable sadness, It's enjoyable distress. So that's really good, actually. Another thing I'd like to say. So yesterday I spoke to Pepper about personal statements and how, like, can I read your personal statement? And Pepper's like, Oh, this morning Pepper told me, oh, I don't want to show you my personal statement because it's just too awkward. And I'm like, okay. And then a little bit later today, Alba asked me and Pepper if we have school uniform. And I thought she said Uniqlo, but she said uniform. And I said, oh, we said yeah. So I just searched up my school's name and then boom, Google Images, there, my school uniform. But Pepper actually had photos of her in the uniform. So Pepper showed Alba. And Pepper's like, oh no, I'm not going to show you, like to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I respect that. And that's actually entirely okay, because just because she doesn't want to show me something embarrassing doesn't mean she hates me or anything. Like I wouldn't do that too. Like if I had something embarrassing on my phone, like I wouldn't show it to Pepper too, vice versa. It's fine, it's respectable. But I think it's okay for me to say that I have been questioning things a little lately. The last 2 weeks of my life have been so amazing that I'm actually a little bit worried that I'm going to crash down, that something's wrong with reality. Reality cannot treat me this well. Like, Pepper can't treat me this well without some sort of condition, Like, maybe, like, Pepper's really nice to me, she smiles at me, she sits with me, she talks with me on WhatsApp, she trusts me. But it can't be that simple, right? I met a lot of people, I had a great time, but it can't be that simple, right? The world, reality must have something very bad prepared for me. Like, I get that feeling, I get the feeling that the world has something bad and evil prepared for me. It's trying to hype me up just to crush me back down. It can't be that simple. And voila, it's not simple. And I'm happy, because if it stays simple and if the Macanese guy never shows up and I and Pepper were forever really close and happy and I constantly meet people and make friends and I have a very great life, something's just wrong. Where's the pain? Where's the suffering? Where's the pain and suffering I know well? Well, even though I didn't experience much pain or suffering today, I feel like today is a really great example of reality is always a little more complicated. Yeah. And I believe that's that. Again, I don't think Pepper had seen me. And I know Pepper... See, if that's not Pepper, if that's Natalie or if that's Mary, then I would be fucking worried. Because they're intelligent, okay? Mary and Natalie, they're fucking smart. If I stare at Natalie from like a mile away, she can probably detect it. If Natalie stares at me, I can probably detect that too, but like Natalie knows her shit. Natalie knows things. So I would be worried. If it's Natalie, like Natalie will probably know, but I feel like Pepper's not smart enough to know that I try to see her with Connor. I feel like she's not smart enough to notice that. So I'm not worried that they may find out about me. And this doesn't destroy anything. Like, I'm still willing to help Pepper ace her Duolingo test so that he can apply to USC. And even if we don't go anywhere, even if we stop being friends in 2023 when we say goodbye to each other, even if we just stop being friends, at least I'll be grateful that I have helped her, that I've helped someone. In fact, like, again, back in April and May, I already expected Pepper to never be my friend ever again. And I even planned to just not be in the same class with her. But I changed my mind again, and I'm glad I did. Because I feel like Pepper's partially the reason why I got to be in Alba short film. Like, even if I and Alba end up in the same film 32, maybe if Pepper wasn't here, I would be even more awkward around Alba, and maybe Alba wouldn't think of me. Um, Pepper helped me a lot. Like the well is something that Pepper helped me with. And HKOS is something I help Pepper with. Yeah. I talked enough. Good day. Alright, time now is 8:23 p.m. I haven't even had dinner yet. I finished the pad thai and I'm so fucking tired I almost fell asleep. I need to sort of process what I did today. If I had just walked away after the whole cocaine man thing and after Pepper left, I would have left with some melancholic feelings too. So it's not that huge of a difference. It's not like the decision I've made to go back and see was the gravest mistake I've made. I would have felt the same way, like emotional wise, anyways. Um, but because I went back to see, I think now there's a slight tension and anxiety again in my heart. Just like how a couple weeks ago I was really paranoid for a whole day that Pepper saw my vlogs. Well, now if Pepper has seen my vlogs, I'm screwed. And I wouldn't say I don't care, but it's just like I've already arrived at this stage, you know. I'll say this. My prediction is positive. I don't think Pepper will hate me or her feelings with me will turn sour or anything. In fact, I think it's a great idea that I didn't tag along. If Pepper wants to hang out with other people, go ahead, because if I interrupt, if I join in, then I will be annoying. And I feel like being able to see someone constantly is a great thing, but seeing them too much will make them feel too annoying. I think it's also important for me to keep a sense of refreshingness, freshness. Another thing is I shouldn't overthink this, and it's my fault that I'm overthinking a lot of this because I feel like I'm just too desperate for human interaction. I think this has been true for such a long time already, but I'm so freaking desperate for human interactions that I'm so scared people will leave me. I'm doing these things. But I shouldn't because I am fine being alone, okay? I'm fine. I can survive. Some people can't, but I can because I'm Enoch Lai, because I'm the detective. I lead the loner lifestyle and I dominate it, you know? I'm good at it. So, there's that. But my prediction is that Pepper will, like, still, like, be close with me from here on out, regardless how, you know, it all turns out. So there's that. Connor made an Instagram story a few minutes ago saying that, you know, he's still studying in the freaking CMD building and it's like 7 something p.m. It's reminiscent. Again, it just reminds me of how, like, I and Natalie would study. Man, I remember those freaking days. Like, it just doesn't seem very likely that it'll happen nowadays, obviously. But there was a period of time when I and Natalie would just hang out and study together, despite the fact that she was dating someone else, you know. And that was like that alone is already better than what I and Pepper had experienced. Like, I think ever since I've met Pepper in mid-February, I don't think I've hung out with her once. I aside from Whittier, but that was because of HKOS. Aside from Thomas's apartment, because that's Thomas. Aside from the bubble tea stuff and the new well stuff, because we're just filmed 32, like right after. Like, we haven't hung out simply because we want to hang out. That has never happened before. But I'm already really, you know, grateful. Like, with what I've experienced with Pepper, like the bubble tea stuff, the new well stuff, the Whittier. I think I'm already really freaking grateful. So if it ends right now, I will already be pretty happy. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm already, like, satisfied. So, I mean, I'm not really asking for much. Yeah. Holy fuck, there was a gas leak. There was a fucking gas leak. Alright, time now is 11:03 p.m. I'm just gonna do some laundry, and go to bed. I spilled some soy sauce on my pants earlier today, for lunch. I don't know why they provided soy sauce for pad thai. Um, I want to snap myself back to reality a little bit. So, two things. First of all, I honestly don't think today's gonna leave any impact on me. I feel as though today is apocalyptic, like the beginning of my downfall, and that's probably true, but I don't think Pepper will randomly start hating on me. Um, but then again, I don't know. I feel like I trust Pepper a lot, but not enough. I feel like there's still like room to be had, like when it comes to trust building. I mean, right now I feel like Pepper also trusts me a lot, and I feel like that's not gonna change, but not to the fullest, you know? Like there's still like room. There's still you can still feel a little untrust between us. But the second thing I would like to say is I want to snap myself back to reality because I mean, A, the world doesn't work as simple. Um, and B, um, let's just say whatever I'm thinking about, I should go with the flow. And if I don't feel like doing some things, then I shouldn't do it because I don't want to. Because I should listen to my feelings. So yeah. I totally forgot to mention what happened today on the bus on the way to film 32 because that's how did I even forget about this? This is such a key moment. And that is Pepper didn't do makeup today. So Pepper always does makeup all the time. Like she puts light makeup on her face. She may have done some light makeup, but she didn't put on eyeliner, and I noticed that. And then we talked on the bus, right? And then she said, "Well, because of you, because you're talking to me, I didn't have. I'm distracted, and I didn't have the time to put on eyeliner. And now the bus is gonna stop. We're gonna arrive at our bus stop, and we have to walk to school. And I'm not gonna have the eyeliner now, and it's your fault." And I'm like, ha ha ha. But actually, without an eyeliner, you look okay. And she's like, thank you. I feel like this is one of those like very anime moments where it's like I compliment a girl slightly, and she's just like, I don't think she's blushing, but she's just like, okay, like, oh, okay, interesting, interesting. Actually, I do like Pepper without makeup more because with a layer of makeup, I almost feel like I'm just talking to an illustrated version of herself. Like this isn't even a matter of oh you're beautiful. This is a matter of like I want to see you for who you really are, you know. Um so yeah. All right, time now is 12:29 afternoon on October 13th. Wow, I had an amazing sleep. I don't know why I was so tired yesterday, even though I slept for 5 hours yesterday, which is not the end of the world, but I went to bed at 2:50. So I didn't finish Misang episode 10. Um but at least I watched it, you know? And I slept from 2:50 all the way without interruption to 11:40. That's almost 9 hours, and then I just laid on my bed until like 12:30. So there we go. It was a good sleep, and I'm rejuvenated. I'm in my pajamas right now, which means that I will do some exercises on my bed again. I'll do some sit-ups, I'll do some push-ups. It's going to be nice. Um, Today's gonna be chill day. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing important's gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna do anything crazy today. I may or may not go to Nijia Market today to buy sushi and cup noodles. I don't know. Um, yeah, oof. And today I'll see if I can finish the Misang episode and then watch Magnolia tonight, which is a 3 hour long movie. So, yeah, I don't know. So, yesterday, I and Eric spoke a little bit on speaking to a counselor, and Eric talked about how he's only going to apply to 4 CSUs, and that's it. For his applications, he's going to apply to CSUN, CSU Long Beach, CSU LA, and CSU Fullerton. And he's not going to apply to any USC or UCLA or anything like that because he hasn't done anything towards that. He hasn't fulfilled the I get C or whatever at all. He spoke to a counselor about it. So I asked him, oh, you spoke to a counselor like on the phone? And he's like, no, in person. So apparently you can literally go to the college main campus, go into the student service building and speak to a counselor in person, which is something I've never done before. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow because I do need some counseling action. So there's that. And then there's this whole club row thing, college fair thing. A college fair is happening today. I will not go. Club row, I don't know when is that, but I think I'll have to attend. I don't know what the heck is that. Finally, there's the yesterday with the whole situation with Pepper. Again, I like that the more time passes, the more I realize that the situation isn't that bad. It's just that I guess I was just so tired and stressed out yesterday that I had a weird psychological detour, I had a weird psychological detour and I had to do something. I truly don't think Pepper or Connor saw me. I truly don't think. I'm real good at hiding. And if they saw me, I would know probably. They had their backs against me. So there's that. And Pepper didn't block me on social media or anything. So I think we're good. I will speak to Pepper. I won't revise history. You know how in May I just stopped speaking to Pepper. I'm not gonna do that. I'll continuously speak to her and be nice to her because I still legitimately root for her, and I would be incredibly sad if Pepper fails her Duolingo test again. So I will still help her as much as possible. Okay, I'll help her edit her short film. I'll help her with her Duolingo test, and then we'll go to the HKOS together. We'll hang out or something. I hope so. I hope we get to watch a movie together. But it's still true that I and Pepper had never truly hung out just because we want to hang out. Even though I and Pepper are close, and Pepper might be the person I'm the closest to in LA right now, we're still nowhere near as close as me and Pink, or me and Miriam or Zara, or me and Leia, or me and Nick, where we can literally hang out just for the sake of hanging out, because we're friends. Yeah, I'm so a long way from forming any sort of relationships. To some people it's easy, to some people 1 week is enough to do everything. One night is enough. But for me, it takes months, if not years. So I don't know. I'm either slow in a dumb, silly way, or I'm just a very patient person. And that's it. That's all for today. All right, time now is 10:29. I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick today. I don't know what happened here. It feels like it's not acne. It feels like I legit accidentally hurt myself, like a cut. But yeah, nothing important happened today. I didn't speak to anyone important. Nothing happened. I am running out of time, especially given that I'm about to watch a 3 hour long movie. Um, so it's good because I don't have much to talk about really. I'm gonna speak to Pepper tonight, hopefully. I want to ask her about counselors because you can just walk into the main campus and see a counselor now, except on Fridays. On Fridays, the walk-in counseling stuff, it will end at 1:30 p.m. and I want to sleep naturally tomorrow morning. So I don't want to wake up early. So maybe I won't. But then if I don't go tomorrow, then the next chance I get is Thursday. Um because I have class on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yes. Um unless I go to class Monday, go to main campus early, but then I don't want to do that because that's stressful, because that's nerve-wracking. Like, oh, what if I get late for my biology class? Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask Pepper. Again, I don't think Pepper saw that I saw, so I think it's fine. But I don't I don't know how to feel. I guess I don't know how to feel. Really don't. I feel like what what's said is said. I've said all I had to say. And that is, if reality doesn't come to be, then let it be, because that's not how nature works. And that's fine for me, because I shouldn't force something that's not gonna happen. What I want to say is, no matter what happens, I will still uphold my promise. I promise to teach Pepper English so that she could ace her Duolingo test. I will do that. I just had a 1 hour-ish Discord call with the interviewer guy. It's nice, but that also means I have less time to do some stuff. I don't know. I really need to edit my short film, but I don't have time for that. I mean, I finished editing the imagery, but the sound, man, it's so fucked up. Personal statement, I don't have time to write it. Homework, I'm not in the mood to do any homework right now. I'm not fucking in the mood. I don't know. But yeah, in any case, today, or actually yesterday, last night? No, today, this afternoon, out of curiosity, I went to electronics.sunny.com and put the lens and the camera body, A7 III, into my shopping cart just to see how much it will cost, including the taxes, and also including a 2-year protection plan. $3,600. $3,600. Like, holy shit, that is 28,000 Hong Kong dollars. I think nearly, 28.4 thousand. So I don't know if I'm ready to really purchase that much. But it'll be a good purchase. Like, I'm legit dead set on this camera and dead set on this lens. Like, I don't know. And I've also been thinking about like going to Japan because it's such an awesome, like, cool thing. Like, this is the only thing I'm looking forward to. The only two things I'm really looking forward to in life right now, like so far, like in the near future, is the Japan trip and the camera and the lens. And that's it. Like, these are the two things that give me hope. They're like a little glimpse of light in the clouds. Or maybe not, because a lot of great things is also happening to me right now. I forgot to mention that Aoba is also studying in Biology 3, is also taking a Biology 3 class this semester. So I spoke to her about it yesterday, and she's like, oh, I'm taking Biology 3, I got assignments. And I'm like, what, you're taking Biology 3 too? Me too. But we're with different professors, but we're doing the same few things anyways. That's really interesting. But I am truly grateful that I have so many people around me now, that people DM me and talk to me now, that I have real life responsibilities now. I'm so freaking grateful. But yeah, this is I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Also, I didn't go to Nijia Market today, obviously. Apparently that's Saturday, so I'm gonna go to Saturday. And yeah, that's that. I'm gonna go to the church this Sunday. Hopefully, a couple weeks later, I'm gonna have time to go out to have a haircut. I want to go to the same place in Monterey Park to have a haircut, but now that everyone's busy, I don't know who's actually like free to get me there and get me back. But yeah, that's all.